Here's a possible idea for your bucket list or goal list. How about thinking about how you're going to die? How about dying of natural causes? How rare has this become? The top killer here in America is essentially heart disease, coronary artery disease, stroke. All that's preventable in the vast majority of cases. All anybody needs to do is consume a diet of whole plant-based foods. So for most people dying of coronary artery disease, heart attack, stroke, whatever, typically that's probably not really a natural cause, because those people are probably dying decades early of a preventable chronic disease. It's the same with most cancer. Most of these diseases probably could have been prevented with an active lifestyle and a diet of all or mostly whole plant-based foods. Just about any chronic disease, you could probably go to nutritionfacts.org and find out how important a whole foods plant-based diet is in both preventing and possibly treating those diseases of affluence. So staying healthy could be as simple as growing your own food and eating it. That's delicious. Or it's as simple as running an ultra marathon in zero drop Huarache sandals. It's kind of hard to believe. I'll be 53 years old soon. And as I look in the obits most days in the newspaper, it's eye-opening to see how many people are passing away younger than even I. One of the people who taught me the very most about nutrition is Ruth Heydrich, Dr. Ruth Heydrich. She's written 4 books, and thankfully I emailed her with some questions and learned a ton from her. I've read all 4 of her books. Her first one is called A Race for Life. And what I look around and tend to see with most people is it almost seems like they're in a race to death. I've spent a little bit of time in senior living, a senior living facility recently, and boy, the people who are in the worst shape there, it looks like the vast majority of them are kind of victims of unfortunate lifestyle choices, poor diet, and most of them are taking so many medications they can't even administer their own medications anymore. They're paying hundreds of dollars per day to have other people handle that. And then when they go to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, sadly enough, they're eating the same foods that had a huge part in getting them there in the first place. There's a great book out there by John Robbins. I've mentioned it in other videos. It's called Healthy at 100. And I like to read it every few years. It gives me hope, a lot of hope, that not only could I live to be 100, but actually thriving to 100. Typically in this country, people are suffering from horrible chronic diseases for decades, and then dying a pretty miserable existence. It doesn't have to be that way.